Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to the WRESTLEBUDDY RAW Recap with the Drip King, Jimmy Bebe. As you see, I'm rocking KO Mania because we are WrestleMania season, and this show was all about the Kevin Owens show. We'll get to that later on. We're going to go right to the beginning of the show, though, to get this recap going. It started off, they showing the MSG footage on Saturday night from when Roman Reigns attacked Brock Lesnar after his impromptu surprise guest entrant participant match that he had against Austin Theory that had everybody just boo-hooing over some tears. So a house show they didn't even get to watch. But that's for another time. We won't get into that. We'll get into the next part of the show, which was the second best part of the show, and they kicked tonight's Monday Night Raw off with the three-way tag team title match between RK Bro, Seth, and Kevin Owens and Alpha Academy. What is up, Courtney? Thank you for joining us. This match was absolutely bonkers. It was nuts, and I'm not even going to go into it too much. I'm just going to let you know you need to watch this match. This might be the best three-way tag team match I've ever seen in my life. Like that it was that good. I wish it wasn't on TV. It went through 4 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, I couldn't get that third finger. 4 segments this match went through. And usually the commercial breaks take you out of things. This match was so good that didn't happen. So I could just imagine how much more invested I would have been had it just been like no commercial breaks. We got to see the whole thing. It was fantastic. Surprise here is we got, first off, the RKO here. It's beautiful, beautiful. Chad Gable goes for the moonsault. Riddle just rolls out of the way, and there's Randy Orton just waiting for it. Boom, RKO, literally out of nowhere on the moonsault. I popped off the couch. My son was just like, he couldn't believe what he just saw. It was freaking amazing. And then from there was just spot after spot after spot, but the flow was just so fantastic. Seth and Kevin Owens, the chemistry these two have is unreal. And we already know Alpha Academy is amazing, and RK Bro has gotten to the groove. They're fantastic as well at this point. And it ended. Seth Rollins ends up hitting the curb stomp on Chad Gable, but there's Riddle to throw Seth Rollins out. Randy grabs Kevin Owens' feet, and Riddle picks up the 1, 2, 3. RK Bro is your tag team champs going into WrestleMania, which means the split is not happening. Thank you very much. And they're going to be defending the tag titles at WrestleMania, my guess at this point, because 4 weeks, you don't have time to have them lose it and start that program. So I'm glad, because as I've been saying the past few weeks, RK Bro has life left in it. You need to milk it for all it's got. Just milk it. I'm all for it. Milk the piss out of it, and then do the turn. SummerSlam seems like a better option at this point. So congratulations to RK Bro, 2-time tag team champions, and one hell of a match of the week. And that's saying a lot, because Revolution was last night, and that had banger after banger after banger after banger. I think the tag team match on Raw that opened up was better than all those matches, and it's not the tribalism verse stuff. I just think that match was that damn good. And those matches on Revolution were damn good as well. That I'm just trying to really sell you on this match because you need to watch it. After that, Kevin Owens, he was just distraught. He sat out there and just against the steel steps. He couldn't believe it. Seth walked out all zonked out his mind, much like the Messiah thing last or 2 years ago, whenever it was, with Buddy Murphy, and he was just hair all crazy. He was just like, oh. Neither of them know what they're going to do at WrestleMania now. Their paths are completely gone, and they're selling it so wonderfully. It makes it seem like those tag titles meant so much, and I love that because it elevates the titles. Just little stuff like that elevates titles, and we need more people doing more of that. No problems. Watch Raw Talk. I can't compete with the WWE machine, but if you're watching me along with them, I thank you. That's all I'll say to that. After the match, they went to the back, and Kevin Owens was just sitting there, still distraught. Then they went to a Dana versus Tamina match. The highlight here was Tozawa again. Before that, she's like, kiss for good luck. And Tamina gives him a kiss, and he's like, that's a whole lot of luck. And he does it so good. Again, completely underappreciated Tozawa as far as his character work goes. We need to get him back in the ring, though, because the man is awesome. Dana Tamina 24/7 title, I think, was online. I'm not sure because I'm not interested in it. And Dana won on a roll-up. That's what happened. Don't need to watch it. I told you what happened. From there, we got a Seth Rollins in the backstage, and he was speechless as well. He's still selling the fact that he lost, and he's not having it. Boo. Seth and Kevin are just sad, and that makes me sad because I like Kevin and I love Seth. But it is what it is. Kevin got a plan, though. We'll get to that later. After that, we got Miz TV. He brings out Logan Paul. They sell Cleveland. That's their hometown. They love the city of Cleveland. They're getting cheers. They bring out Jerry Lawler. He sells it. Yes, babe. Watching Jimmy is better than Raw Talk every single time. Thank you, babe. Jerry Lawler, he starts praising the city of Cleveland as well, and then that's when Miz flips the script and he starts pooping all over the city of Cleveland, talking about it's not worthy of a WrestleMania. Everyone leaves Cleveland to win something, and if they do win something, they leave right after. Fans turn on Miz like that. Logan Paul's a little confused, then they leave, and that's the segment. It was a weird segment. It was good to see Miz have the crowd in the palm of his hand, though. Right here. That's where he's got him. That's how good Miz is. I think we forget sometimes because he's kind of an annoying character. And right when I think, there's nothing else he could do with this character he's been doing for so long, he proves me wrong. This segment, whereas it didn't really accomplish much, it was still somewhat entertaining. After that, we go to the backstage, and Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker were interviewed, and they're talking about their match with the Dirty Dogs coming up, and they were also promoting their triple threat match tomorrow on Roadblock, the NXT show between Tommaso, Braun Breaker, and Dolph Ziggler for the NXT title. So again, more promotion of NXT on Raw. Thank you. It's good. They need more of that. No, they don't need more because they've been doing it. They've been listening to me because it helps. And I think NXT's ratings have been going up since they've started doing this. So good on them. Next up, we had the Street Profits. And they're talking about they're not going to miss WrestleMania. So based on the fact they beat RK Bro last week and RK Bro's new tag champs, I imagine that's something we will be seeing at WrestleMania. We shall see in the future, though. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. Not sure. Maybe even a multi-team thing because I don't want Alpha Academy being left out of WrestleMania. After that, we go to the match that Braun and Ciampa were just promoting against the Dirty Dogs. Braun gets his Raw debut. Nice little pop for his first time there. He's still relatively new. He got a nice little pop. The bigger thing here, though, is Braun Breaker looked fantastic. Just flawless with his execution. He looked like a beast, and he delivered. He ended up getting the win on Dolph Ziggler. He pretty much manhandled Ziggler and Rude for most of the match, so that was nice, and he just looked good. So the future is so bright for this man. I don't think anybody was questioning that, and tonight was an indication of that. Afterwards, Ziggler got on the mic. He tried to create some dissension between the two because they're facing each other tomorrow, along with Ziggler, and he's going to swoop in and pick up steal the victory, I guess. Just simple mic work to help, again, sell the match for tomorrow and get people to tune in, which they probably should. There's probably going to be a good show tomorrow based on the matches I've seen, with the highlight being Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa, and Dolph Ziggler. After that, we get a Omos hype video followed by an Omos interview, which they were filming like he's like this. Is terrible angle. And he's talking about how he's dominating everybody, he's undefeated. and he's going to keep doing that, and they'll have no choice but to run WrestleMania. And then he walks out for his match, which is up next against Apollo Crews. Poor Apollo Crews. He did the character change, and it looked like things were working for him. It got stale real quick, though, and now he's back to doing what he was doing before. He's too good to be doing this jobbing stuff, but the character needs to change. I've said that for a minute now. The character just needs to change because Omos he just squashed him. Afterwards, Aziz comes in to check on him. Omos comes back in. He teases attacking him, but then he turns around and walks off. So they did a little Omos versus Commander Aziz tease. They'll probably do that match next week, though, and Omos will squash him as well. After that, we get an Edge promo, and this one was very hit and miss to me. At first, he come out, we got the music, the crowd popped, lights went dim, and there's blue light. They're doing a black light, so it looks blue. And then the music cuts off, and Edge walks to the ring in silence. Very cool. The blue light was giving him such a weird. It didn't even look like Edge at first. It was very weird. But again, that was cool. He gets in the ring. He's wearing a suit, I think. I couldn't really tell because of the lighting. Bad. They didn't fix that. And then he cut a promo about how he's liking this version of himself. He's in love with this new version of himself. And he reiterated, I don't want the AJ Styles we've been seeing. I want the AJ Styles that is a dog. He wants the best version of AJ Styles. And then that was it. And then they cut the camera and then went to the commentary. Very weird transition. Bad. Overall, the promo was different. It was very. I can't recall seeing something like that. And it was good. Yes, we can only see the edge of him tonight, babe. Good one. That's exactly what it was. Thank you, Nick. I am great as always. Tell your friends, tell your family. They should be tuned in. But yes, the Edge promo. If you're a big Edge fan, you're probably gonna really like this. If you're like me, you like him. You're not crazy about him. It's hit or miss, honestly, because again, it felt weird. There was parts that was good. There was parts that just felt off to me. After that, commercial come back. Kevin Owens, once again, this is the third time he's been on our television tonight. I wonder what they're promoting up for, or what they're building up for. So Kevin Owens says, you know what? I had an epiphany. And then he explained what an epiphany was to the old. I still don't know this interviewer's name. The British guy. I think he's British. Sorry. But yeah, he says he had an epiphany and he has a plan and he will tell everybody that plan later tonight. I have an idea what it was. I'm pretty sure everyone else did based on rumors. And that's the end of the segment. I'm hyped at this point because, again, I have a feeling I know what it is. And it's Kevin Owens. And he's getting multiple segments on the show, which is always a good thing because Kevin Owens is that dude. So the segment was very short, but it was extremely effective. After that, we got a Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan tag team together against the champs Zelina and Mella. If Rhea and Liv win, that means they're part of the women's tag team title match at WrestleMania. So you already know they're going to win because they're going to pile as many people into the show as possible. And what better way to do that than multiple, just not just person, but multiple team matches. This was the only female match of the night, I think, that has to do with Becky, which I will get to in a second. This match, I think, went two segments. It was very good. I was very entertained with it. I think Rhea and Liv are actually a good pairing, unlike Rhea and Nikki, the oddball stuff. Oddball stuff doesn't always work. That was the case of it not working. Rhea and Liv, I think, can work. We will see. The match ended when Mella got kicked, rolled out of the ring, and then went over to Corey. And Corey was, whatever to her, and Mella was just eating up, going, "Oh, Corey, I love you so much." Yada yada yada. Zelina was doing her best to get that work in, but then the numbers added up. Liv got her, and I think at one point Zelina was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And then that allowed Liv to get the upper hand. Tags in Rhea. Rhea hits the biggest riptide you ever seen in your life. She threw up to the rafters and slammed her down, pinned her 1, 2, 3. So that means Rhea and Liv, like I said, we guessed it. It happened. They're now part of the women's tag team match, which is now a 3-way. I imagine we'll get a fourth team in there. They did this last year, I believe. So yeah, I imagine we'll get a fourth team in there. Natalia and somebody. I don't know. Aaliyah. That would be something they would do for this, but I won't go into all that. Next up, we got an Austin Theory versus Finn Balor match. I like how they talked about the last time Finn Balor got in the ring with Austin Theory, he had to take a month off because Austin Theory put that beat down on him. But Finn Balor came back and won the United States title, so good for him. Austin Theory, they showed Austin Theory before going at Pat McAfee, challenging him to WrestleMania, or not challenging him, basically telling him like, Vince McMahon set you up. You got to take me on WrestleMania because we're gonna knock your loud mouth out. Shut your loud mouth up, something like that. But to the match, it's Austin Theory, and at this point, he is almost the most consistently awesome performer on Raw. If he is in a match with anybody, it's going to be good. That could just be the fact that Raw has such a good roster that everyone gets in the ring with anybody. As far as I'm concerned, they're gonna have good matches. But Austin Theory just seems to be hitting the strides better at this point. His matches are just flawless. This match ended when we saw Damian Priest come in, grab Finn when he was on the top rope, and throw him down. Priest dressed in all black now, the full-on heel turn. He's straight evil now in that all black. He comes in, does more damage. He hits the Razor's Edge. I don't know what he calls it. I don't know what anyone else calls it. It's the Razor's Edge, and it'll never be anything else. If you call it the Outsider's Edge, I'm cool with that. But we're not calling it anything else. It's Razor's Edge, Outsider's Edge. That's it. Interesting point. I'm going to sidetrack here for a second. And I find it very interesting that before Damian Priest was using the Crossroads as his finisher, he seems to have moved away from it. I know all the little hints in the promos, people are like, oh, that's a Cody Rhodes tease. I don't think that's as important as Damian Priest changing his finisher, which seems to be the case because that's 2 weeks in a row now he's hit that move, and we never saw that often. But now we're seeing it as like that's his impactful go-to move. That says more about the Cody Rhodes thing than anything. And with Seth not having a match going into WrestleMania at this point, I'm starting to lean towards the Cody Rhodes coming to WWE thing. But that's sidebar. I'm coming back to the show. After Damian Priest beat him up, Austin Theory came in, did his thing, and he had to get selfies. And man, I'm saying he took like 1,000 selfies, just living it up, having the time of his life. And then he left, and Finn Balor, United States champion, knocked out in the middle of the ring. Poor Finn Balor. So that was the final match tonight. So it was a good match to end the night. I know people hate the disqualification finishes, whatever. This did not bother me at all. Next up, we have Kevin Owens coming out to the ring to close the show. So you know it's going to be huge. Yes, Nick, my man, says, very true. Priest changing his finish is a massive Cody hint. Yeah, I think it's the biggest hint yet. I think anybody can go out there and do like the undeniable or the dashing little teases. I think though anybody could do those, but the move is just a big deal. They're not going to have Damian Priest doing the same finisher as Cody Rhodes on the same show. It's just not going to happen. They won't do that. They'll make someone change their finishing move. And I prefer the Razor's Edge to the Crossroads anyway. It's a brilliant move, and I don't understand why more people haven't used it. Maybe Scott Hall just told him they can't, and you just don't do what Scott Hall. You don't go against Scott Hall. So, but back to the Kevin Owens thing. Kevin Owens says, he doesn't have a match at WrestleMania, and it's been bothering him. But epiphany time, he's got his idea, and he's issuing out a challenge. He wants the most greatest person to come on the KO show for the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time. And since it's in Texas, he has someone in mind. It could have been JBL, but the horns on his hood probably have more character and are more interesting than JBL himself. So no, he's not allowed on my show. Booker T, he decided to tweet at me last week, but you may be from Texas, but you spent half your career claiming Harlem Heat, and then when you were king, you were speaking in a horrible British accent. You're a hypocrite. You're not allowed on my show either. Then he put over HBK. He says, you're a legend. But let's face it, I'm Canadian, and it would be sacrilegious of me to have you on my show. I would never do that to Brett. Done. It's not going to be HBK either. So who could it be? Oh, we already know. He then says, the guy I'm talking about is probably at the house right now. I know he's watching. He's completely out of shape. He's been drinking beers. What? He's got 2 bad knees. What? He ain't been taking care of himself. What? He calling out Stone Cold Steve Austin to close the show. Oh, hell yeah. I'm pumped. I've been waiting. I wasn't letting the rumors get the best of me. Maybe I did just a little bit, but now it's official. I'm going full-blown crazy mode. And just the WWE got me there for a second, because as the show was closing and they put up the graphic, they played the glass broke, and I was like, I thought he was coming out. He didn't come out. Damn you, WWE, for that one. But I am pumped. Stone Cold the name has been dropped. It's happening. He's going to at least be there at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. And he's going to be involved with Kevin Owens. Thank you. Give me that KO Mania shirt. Throw on Steve Austin. And I'm super duper happy on that one. Fully pumped. This was a very good episode of Raw. Most of my excitement right now is from Stone Cold. I just got myself hyped up again. I calmed down before the show. Now I'm hyped back up. But the show overall was a really, really good show. Don't anybody lie to you. I would never lie to you. There's not much to skip through. Like I said, the 24/7 segment, skip through that. Miz TV, you could probably skip through that. Everything else, I think, had a purpose and was good. Maybe the Omos stuff, because you know he's going to squash him. But I like to see Omos. I like to see how much better he gets week to week. And I'm the belief that he has been getting a lot better each week that we see him. Yeah, they closed it with the greatest thing ever. Stone Cold Steve Austin going to be at WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas, and he's going to stomp a mud hole in Kevin Owens and walk him dry and chug beers and celebrate. It's going to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time just for that moment alone. So that is the show. But before I go, I want to just, Bianca, you dirty, you injured Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch wasn't there tonight. Hopefully she will be okay. She's a big part of WrestleMania. I have missed Becky Lynch every time I've went to a WWE show, through some way, shape, or form. Every single time I've missed her. I even missed her last year at Money Bank when I was staying a block away from the show, and then she was out there. I missed it. I was literally a block away, and I left like hours before the picture of her run. So I've always missed her. I can't miss her this year's WrestleMania, so I'm really hoping she's okay, a speedy recovery, and she shows up at WrestleMania. So that's that. Get well soon, Becky Lynch. And that's the show. I thank you all for joining me. Like button. Which side? I don't know. Click it. Subscribe to the channel. And again, I will be back Wednesday night after Dynamite. Hopefully we get another great show because, again, Revolution was fantastic. Phenomenal. Raw tonight, stupendous. There, I used it. NXT looks good. And so yeah, Dynamite, keep it rolling. And you will see, because if you join me, I'll talk about it. And if I'm excited like this, you know it's a good show. I will see you then. And again, one last time, I thank you for joining me. And hopefully you will be joining me in future episodes. So good night, goodbye, boom, and